Paul Vallem,
Yes.
every time we go up to Ashland or Minocqua or Eagle River, we see a sign along the side of the road. Wild rice, 3 pounds for $9.99. What do you know about that stuff?
Well, for one thing, you can't get my rice for 3 pounds for $9.99. It's a thing we have here with our rice that we pick, and we charge $10 a pound all the way around the board to everybody. Unless you are selling to somebody commercial that resells it, then you can get a little bit more because they make more money off of it too. But the black rice, it's I suppose if you're born and raised with it, it would be a good rice. If you have nothing else and you know nothing else, it's probably a good rice. But as far as I know, theirs tastes way different than ours. It cooks way different than ours. It's not my rice or her rice, it's just the rice that grows around here, all what we call the wild rice. And theirs isn't really wild anymore because they've changed the make of it by crossbreeding it with something else. And I'm not sure if it's brown rice or if it's white rice, but it all ends up being picked at the same time, and you can't do that with regular wild rice. It's you got to go out day after day after day after day. Here, if it rains, it knocks rice off. You don't get to go out for 2 days. There, I guess, if it rains, it doesn't matter. It doesn't knock the rice off. It doesn't get knocked off until the picker comes through. So there's a big difference. It takes longer to cook. It smells worse when it's cooked, and I guess it tastes worse when you eat it. There's some kind of a taste and smell there that I've never bought it. It doesn't look good to me. It's too small. I like big grained rice. And now some people we have light rice. River rice here is light, and flowage rice is light. And there's lake rice. Sometimes if it's planted with 2 different breeds of rice, let's say from up here by Hayward, and then you go down 50 or 60, 70 miles south, and they bring that rice up and put some of Hayward's rice in one end and some of their rice down south on the other end. The processing times are actually different. I don't know if the black stuff is like that. Someday I'd like to go see how they do their rice and just learn a little more about it, and then I'd be able to argue the point on whether it tastes good or not. See?
We were talking about caring for wild rice. Now, your father, Ray Vallem, he was a DNR employee. He planted rice all through this territory.
Oh yes.
And we benefit from that. Many years later, I'm able to harvest rice that maybe your dad planted,
Oh, you're already harvesting it.
right? So
Yeah.
what should we be doing for our children and grandchildren in caring for the rice?
Well, we got to keep the water clean. We got to make sure we got to keep the water clean. We need to keep the dams in place that are there, the old logging dams, the old earthen dams that have partially been taken out to create a waterway again. Once they plugged it up, they moved, they take the dam out, but they don't take it completely out. Now, if the Wild Rivers, the Wild River Act, or those people get their way, they want to take all the old earthen dams out completely. Now at Pacoiwan, we have an old earthen dam. It holds back enough water for that really super good rice to grow. Without that earthen dam, we're losing that pond. All it'll be again, just like naturally, before they put the dam in, is going to be a river, and there is not going to be any rice. There won't be any good fishing, there won't be any good ricing. It's a very good pond. We have to remember to plant wild rice. And you have to keep the waters clean. You can't destroy the waters with motor boats and oil and septic tanks and things like this. We have to teach our kids to respect the waters, which doesn't really happen anymore unless you live on a water and the kids learn. It should be in the schools and everywhere else, the kids need to be taught, because the kids aren't taught anymore, not like I was. My dad drilled into my head, you gotta keep the water clean. You can't abuse the river, you can't abuse the lakes, especially if you're gonna plant wild rice in it. If you're gonna live off the water, you need to keep it clean.
This is Nick Vanderpie, Paul Vallem, processing wild rice near Hayward, Wisconsin, for Indian Country TV.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.